Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Cermanski from Santa Fe Painting Workshops, and today I want to talk to you about color schemes. So what is a color scheme? A color scheme is basically the colors that you choose for your painting. It's the palette that you choose. And it's really important to consider this because different color schemes create different emotional effects on our artwork, and so it's really good to understand exactly what you're doing. So I'll talk to you about 3 different color schemes today, and I'll also show you some of my paintings and show you how I use color schemes. Let's talk first about the color wheel. At the top here we have violet or purple, which is the darkest color. And as we go around the wheel, the colors get lighter as we move to yellow here. So yellow is the lightest color. When you have colors opposite the color wheel, such as blue and orange here, those are called complementary colors and they look really good together. So if you want a painting to really pop, you might choose orange and blue or green and red or red, violet, and yellow, green. So you've heard the expression opposites attract. Well, it's the same way with colors. The opposite colors look really good and they attract each other. After complementary colors, we have analogous colors. Analogous colors are next to each other on the color wheel and they share a common color. So green, blue, they all share the color blue. And orange, and yellow, they all share the color yellow. So those are analogous colors. Analogous colors are used often when you want to create a harmonious feel. They all blend into each other very nicely. Perhaps you don't want to create a lot of contrast. That's the basics. And then we'll talk a little bit about also split complementary, and we'll talk about a triadic color scheme. Here we have yellow, and if we go across the color wheel, purple is the opposite of yellow, right? But if we split the complement, blue, violet, red, violet, and yellow, those are called split complementary colors. They also look really good if you choose mostly split complements in a painting. And finally, we have the triadic color scheme. So you basically just draw a triangle on the color wheel, and that would be a triadic color scheme. So red, blue, and yellow, right? They create a triangle. They're evenly spaced from each other. We have 3 colors apart from each other. So that's a triadic color scheme. You could do something like yellow, green, red, orange, blue, violet. That's also a triadic color scheme. So these are the basics about the color wheel. Really important to understand before we move forward. There's some more complex things we can talk about, but this is good enough for our purposes today. Okay, so let's talk about these paintings and what color schemes they are. So let's first talk about this one. And keep in mind that when we're talking about color schemes, we're really talking about the predominant colors. It's not every single color we have to look at. So the most important, the most significant colors in this piece, I would say, are the yellow, green, and the pink, which is red and white, and then this purplish red color. We have a little bit of orange here and a bit of blue as well, but those are the predominant colors. So if we look at our color wheel, we can see that yellow, green, and green are right next to each other. And so we have quite a bit of that. And then we also have this red and red purple. So it's a complementary color scheme that has 2 different colors worked into it. Just keep in mind that with your color schemes that you don't have to be exact, that there can be other colors thrown in there. It's just about the predominant colors. Okay, so in this painting, we have a complementary color scheme. If we look at the color wheel, we can see that orange and blue are exactly opposite, and that's what we have in this painting. We've got orange and blue. If you notice that the orange and the blue, they really stand out against each other because they're opposite in the color wheel, and so we have a lot of contrast. But this is definitely a clear complementary color scheme. So in this painting, we have an analogous color scheme. If you look at the color wheel here, we have mostly blues, blue-green, we've got a little bit of yellow-green. So we're just on this side of the color wheel. The colors are clearly harmonious. We have the blue that sort of binds all these colors together. I like when we can create contrast with analogous color schemes. And so you can see here with this yellow-green that it's a lot lighter, and that's why we're able to have contrast here. So just be sure if you do an analogous color scheme that you still want to make sure you have some values that are lighter and some medium and some dark, so you still have contrast in your piece. Now this painting is smaller, so coming in a little bit closer here, but you can see the predominant colors on this one is the yellow-orange, and we also have purple and blue. Yellow, orange, go across the color wheel, and we split the complement. Yellow, orange, blue, and purple makes a really beautiful painting. And you can see that the orange becomes a nice contrast to the rest of the painting, which is very cool. So the warmth of the orange contrasts really nicely, so the purple can really stand out here. And then we also have some light colors as well, a little bit of a very light blue-green here to also create some contrast. Now let's talk about the different color schemes and the effects they create. So right behind me you have this orange and blue painting, a complementary color scheme, and the colors really contrast against each other. They're really bold and they stand out. And if you think about comic books or about pop art, that art style used a lot of complementary color schemes. They really try to get your attention and make things really stand out. And then over here, we can see that we do have contrast and things are bold. There's also a feeling of harmony because of the pinks and the oranges, the warm colors working together here, and then we have the cooler colors working together here. So we kind of accomplish both things. We get a lot of contrast and boldness, but we also have a lot of harmony in this piece. And then finally, with this painting here, we can see that there's mostly blues and greens and they flow into each other, and there's a lot of harmony in this painting. So there's a feeling of more of peace and unity than we might have with this painting where we have contrast. If you learned something from this video, please click the like button and also subscribe to my channel. I'll be having a lot more painting tutorials coming up and you'll want to find out when the latest one arrives. Have a good day.